It's very competitive.
There's some up-and-coming youngsters, so you have to actually work 3 times harder, and bring your A game.
And there's so much of us.
For jockeys that are not doing well, it just gets a little bit harder.
Sometimes you can be getting the rides, but it's not always the winning ones. And those are the ones you really need.
It's really competitive.
Jockeys compete in the sport of horse racing, renowned for its physical and psychological demands. We speak to long-time head of the South African Jockey Academy, Graham Bailey.
I've been doing statistics since I started here at the Academy, so I've got a whole lot of information that obviously I've taken off of the National Horse Racing Authority's website. We've got 91 professional jockeys and apprentices racing currently. The top 20 jockeys constitutes 22% of your jockey population, and right at the moment they are riding 56% of the rides.
So whilst life looks good for the top 22% of jockeys on the log, what about the rest and by far the majority of jockeys in the country?
The other 78% of the jockeys are scrabbling around for the 43% that is remaining. So it just shows you how difficult it is.
So how does this impact a jockey's ability to earn a respectable living?
Your top 20 jockeys would certainly be earning a good salary, a good living, and rightly so, because they work extremely hard for that, and they're rushing around the country picking up the rides and doing all of the right things to give themselves that opportunity to earn that. But if you then go down to the next 20, they, on average, are probably earning around 50% less than the top 20. Each 20 that you take are probably dropping on average by about 50% of the previous group.
So let's start by talking to a jockey in the top 20 on the log.
Obviously this is my profession, and I've been very fortunate where I'm number 2 on the log.
Trainers want S'Manga and other top jockeys like him on their horses. So that means travel and several flights a week. It's a career that's not just a job, but a way of life.
The season it takes you wherever, it can be Joburg, it can be Durban, it can be Cape Town. There's a lot of traveling.
S'Manga and many of the other top jockeys who travel, particularly those who freelance and are not attached to a stable or owner, utilize the services of an agent. Deez Dayanand, who has successfully partnered with jockeys Anthony Delpeche and Lyle Hewitson, now represents Anton Marcus.
Put simply, you're basically taking care of his rides. Most importantly, it entails trying to get winners for your jockey rather than rides.
At this moment we're talking, there's norms that are being issued, so I can't be there, do the norms and race. It takes a lot of weight off my shoulders.
So how are other jockeys getting their rides? The talented and competitive Athandiwe Mgudlwa currently finds himself in the upper 40 on the log. Do you have an agent who helps you book rides?
Not necessarily an agent, but I do have Lorenzo, who's a close friend to me. He'll always, wherever he can, help me out with some of the guys that I can't really get in contact with, and that helps me, yes. I'm doing a lot of work in KZN to try and just get as many rides as I can, and when things start really going well, it makes it easier for you to travel. Hopefully in the close future I can.
Most jockeys want to travel, and with it comes more rides and greater opportunity for success. But it's not the same for everyone.
I'm just based here in KZN at the moment. Like a few meetings up in Joburg, those light rides that come around and trainers would phone up and ask me to come up. But mainly it's just Durban at the moment. I booked my own rides.
It begs the question, are jockeys who fall outside the top 22% not in greater need of an agent?
It's difficult income-wise if you want to have an agent and you're not earning as much in order to pay the agent, I would say it all depends on the income that you're receiving and whether you're willing to pay that percentage to somebody else. Whether it's bottom or top or wherever you are on the jockey log, it's all about what you want out of the game. Are you just in a comfort zone and happy with the income that you're getting end of the month, or do you want to now be competitive? To sum it up, Michele, a best way to put it, do you want to be part of the field, or do you want to be part of winning the race?
There's obviously a favourable financial outcome for winning races. Jockeys currently earn 1,000 Rand a race ride.
It's quite a nice amount if you're getting a few rides.
Consider it a basic salary if you like, but it's a percentage of the winning stake, like a commission, that they're all after. It's 10% for the win and 7% for a place, so securing winning rides makes all the difference. Can you make a decent living as a jockey?
100% you can. Obviously it goes with how well you're doing, but you can make a very good living out of it.
But you need to be doing well and booting home those winners.
They say you make your own luck by working hard, and it's always been my thing. Work hard in the mornings and the chances come, even though at the moment the chances are very scarce, but in future I am planning on doing other things, little things on the side to boost my finances.
The one thing that I find, and this is no disrespect to any jockey, is that they lose confidence quickly when the door closes. And whether they're putting the hard yards back home, or they're just not getting the opportunities when they ask those particular trainers, the door closes and they get despondent, and then they basically leave that trainer alone, and you're closing the door on that trainer. With an agent, you'll keep knocking.
If we go to the 2010-2011 season, there were 45,524 runners. I'm not going to use last year's statistics because of the COVID, but if I just look at our 2018-2019 season, we were down to 38,485 runners. So you can see the shrinkage in that 10-year period. It obviously impacts the number of rides available, the field sizes. It's getting tougher and tougher out there the whole time. Because it's so difficult to get rides, unless an apprentice gets the break, they're struggling to meet the minimum number of rides to qualify.
Whether an apprentice or a jockey, many speak about getting that break.
S'Manga Khumalo.
Something that came for S'Manga when he partnered heavy metal to victory in the 2013 Vodacom Durban July.
Heavy metal winner.
It was a career-defining moment for him and set him up for what was to follow.
Here's the victory canter, heavy metal.
I'm lucky that one race that actually changed everything.
Please welcome S'Manga Khumalo.
Before the July, I could pick up the phone. They say, no, sorry, we've got Kevin. No, sorry.
So that gave you the
we've
break.
got Moses. So I think that really gave me the break.
How important is it to get a break?
It's very important. It's all we're all working for. If you're not getting the opportunities, it doesn't matter how talented you are. But without the opportunities, you're just another number.
It's all hard work. Everybody gets their chances, and I'm waiting on my chances.
The jockey themselves is their advert out there. The number of winners they're having, the way that they are riding, the relationships that they are building with trainers and owners, that all adds up to them being more popular in inverted commas and more wanted in inverted commas for rides.
And when jockeys get those rides and achieve success, they seemingly then need to work doubly hard to maintain it.
I've won 2 championships, and those were my highlights of my racing career, and it was so great to be there. But also now everybody's just wanting you to perform in that level again, and you have to still perform in that level, and it's just another thing. But we love it. This is what we wanted to do.
I couldn't think of anything else. As hard and as difficult as it is, it's enjoyable. I mean, horses are good for your soul, and they're the most wonderful creatures to work with, and I really do enjoy it.
So what about the apprentices?
My experience is that if the apprentices certainly aren't in the top 40 by the time they qualify, they're going to stay at the bottom. They're going to struggle.
Trying to make it is one thing, but horse racing is an extreme sport, and sometimes things don't go a jockey's way.
Yeah, I fell. I broke my my wrist twice. I broke my leg, my tibia, and I thought this is it. I'll never come back. I was sat at home for 3-4 months. It healed, and I still say no, I can't go, because what happened? I fell in front of the guys, and they all came, and I can still see like the hoofs and everything, you know. So they just take me on the leg and the back, but the back I had a safety vest. So that now comes and sits on you, and are you gonna come back? You know. And then I just had to grind and say, listen, I have to try this again. So I got back. As I got back, look, it's just started to climb, you know.
So how much mental and emotional strength does it take to be a successful jockey?
It takes a lot. It's a lot.
You really have to want it and put all your dedication to it, because it's very hard, it's not easy, and are you willing to sweat?
If you don't have the passion, with the obstacles that go through, you fail. You fail.
How important is mental strength?
Very, very important. You know, as a rider, you want to come in a race with a clear head and still try and ride winners.
Mentally, you really do need to stay strong. It's survival of the strongest, and when they say that in racing, that's what it is.
Mental strength is it's another thing. I think that's what makes great jockeys. No, lovely. Thank you. Thank you.